In this video, we'll demonstrate how to set up workflows in Microsoft Teams and how to send message alerts to a Teams channel via Scheduler. You'll see how to send the messages in either HTML or JSON format, see query combinations for multiple messages in a single scheduler task execution, and how to include hyperlinks to things like other published reports or even to trigger another scheduled task. To start, we need to set up the workflow for our Teams channel. Go to Microsoft Teams and go to your Teams channel you want to send messages to. From here, go to the plus icon and go to Apps. Search on and select Workflows, Add and Save. Once you've done that, you should be able to find an option for workflows on your Teams channel when you select the three dots for more options. From here, you can search for Send Webhook Alert to a channel. Make sure the settings are correct and save. Make sure to copy your webhook link, and we'll be using this later in Sharperlight. Next, we'll start from a brand new scheduled task, and we'll try just sending a simple text message to our Teams channel. Go to the Actions tab and create a new action. Select Microsoft Teams Send Message. Though we do have a channel link option available, we'll change to Workflows Webhook, and here you can paste your Workflows link from earlier. Then just type in a text message to send. We can apply and click OK, then manually execute our scheduled task. In our Teams channel, we should see the message come through. Back to Scheduler, on our action for Microsoft Teams messaging, there are two options for either Basic or Advanced. Basic is either just plain text, or you can toggle on HTML format. Advanced use JSON format and includes a template designer. As an example, let's toggle on HTML and put in some simple HTML body of text. You can also set up a subject for your Teams message alert. Save and manually execute your scheduled task, and we'll see the message come through based on the HTML. This time we'll change it to Advanced. When you do so and the text box is empty, you can choose to start with a template. The template includes a subject title, body of text, and a hyperlink. For now, we'll just change the body text to something and change the hyperlink to Sharperlight's webpage. Save and manually execute your scheduled task, and we should see the message alert come through based on the JSON. We can click on the hyperlink and it will direct us to the link specified. So far we've been sending fixed messages. We'll move on to dynamic messages, but also sending multiple on one task execution. The example we'll use is using the AdventureWorks data model. We'll look at the top 3 stores by sales total due. Let's give our action a code. This isn't mandatory though. Next, we'll create 2 additional tasks, one for query combinations and another for query combinations end. With our first task, we can define a query for the store sales to use in our message. Here we have a query that looks at the top 3 rows of stores by order of descending total amount due. We can preview the data to get an idea of what it will output. We however want a message per row of data here. When we finish our query, you can see the output fields pop up in the attributes section. We can reference these in actions following it. Going back to the basic method, let's define a subject based on the row's store name, and a message to give all the data, plus a reminder to check the data. Save and manually execute, and we should see in our Teams channel 3 different message alerts appear, one for each store, and it also includes its total due. Continuing on from this, we can actually also include a hyperlink to a report in our message. In Publisher, we've created a simple report that is similar to the query in the scheduled task, and we want to pass it in the store as a filter for the report. Add in your link to the published report and add in your additional filter parameters in the URL. This makes it so that we can open the report and just look at the relevant store. We can do the same with the advanced method in JSON. Load the template and then simply replace the body text to something like what we had in the previous message, and also replace the hyperlink to a published report URL we defined earlier. Scheduled tasks can be executed via URL, which can be triggered by a hyperlink click. This means our message alerts can actually pass a hyperlink that, when clicked, triggers another scheduled task. For our example, we'll add a hyperlink for something like report approval, which when clicked triggers a scheduled task that does another action based on a report being approved. Add in another hyperlink. Its format is different from the published report URL, but still references another valid scheduled task by group and code. Save and manually execute the scheduled task to see the message alert. This time we'll click on the Approve Report hyperlink we defined. We should be able to see the other message appear. This is the action done by the following scheduled task. We've been able to output simple messages, dynamic messages based on the output of a report per row, and include hyperlinks. Next, we'll show how to include a table of data as an output in the team's message alert. We'll create a new scheduled task for this. Remember to add your webhook workflow link. Create two actions. One for Microsoft Teams message and another, this time, is a query. Define your query just like we did with the query combinations. For this example, we'll do a range of 2001 to 2003, output the customer type and sort on customer type first, then by total due. In this section, we can define how you want to save the query output. For this example, we'll choose HTML. So tick HTML and give your query output a file name. We might also want to set your default save location. This can be done in the General tab. Go to the Actions tab and select your Microsoft Teams message alert. Give it a subject and a message. Now we'll usually include the link to the output file, but it hasn't been generated yet, so we'll need to create it for the first run. You can disable this task temporarily, but still have the query save its output on execute. Here's my file in my downloads folder. Back in Scheduler, we can use this icon to select a template based on a file. Choose your HTML file you've created and it should come up. Save and manually execute, and now you should see the query output as a table in Teams. This can be very useful if you don't want to always redirect to the Sharperlight web reports. But you should also be careful if the output table is large, as it might bloat up the Teams channel. Now you have your scheduled tasks, but we've been testing them so far by manually executing them. As we want to automate our tasks, go to the Triggers tab and create a new trigger. From here you can choose what type of trigger you want, being a service timer, Windows event, or any of the other options available. Toggling the everyday option off, you can select which days of the week or month you'd like, or even which months of the year. Choose between a consistent interval of time or a time range. For our example, we can toggle the task to trigger daily and specify a time, like 6 AM, so it triggers before the start of the workday. Now, when the scheduled task triggers, it should automatically execute.